भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतां स्वकथः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः। हृदयस्थो हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति सुश्रुताम्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, verse 70. तमैवात्मानम् आत्मास्थं सर्वभूतेषु अवस्थितं पूजाध्वं गृह्णन्ताश्च जायन्ताश्चक्रधारिम् Stam unto him, Eva certainly, Atmanam, the Supreme Soul, Atmastam, within your hearts, Sarva, all, Bhuteshu, and every living being, Avasitam, situated, Puja Dvam, just worship him, Grantashta, always chanting, Jhanasha, always meditating upon, Askrat, continuously, Harim, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Therefore, O sons of the King, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari is situated in everyone's heart. He is also within your hearts. Therefore, chant the glories of the Lord and always meditate upon Him continuously. Purport. The word Asakrat is significant, for it means not just for a few minutes, but continuously. That is the instruction given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Ikshashtaka Kirtaniya Sada Harihi. The holy name of the Lord should be chanted 24 hours daily. Therefore, in this Krishna consciousness movement, we request that the devotees to chant at least 16 rounds on their beats daily. Actually, one has to chant 24 hours daily, just like Thakur Haridasa, who was chanting like the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 300,000 times daily instead daily. In it, he has no other business. Some of the Goswamis, like Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, was also chanting very rigidly and also offering obeisances very rigidly. As stated in Srinivasacharya prayer to 6 Goswamis, Tad Goswami Ashtaka, Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Natbihi, Kalavasani Krutau. The word Sankhya Purvaka means maintaining a numerical strength. Not only was Raghunatha Dasa Goswami chanting the holy name of the Lord, but he was also offering obeisances in the same prolific numbers. Because the princes were ready to enter into some severe austerity in order to worship the Lord, Lord Shiva advised them to constantly chant of and meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is significant that Lord Shiva personally offered his prayers to Supreme Personality of Godhead, just as he was taught by his father. Lord Brahma, similarly, he was also preaching to the princes according to the Parampara system. One not only should practice the instructions received from the spiritual master, but should also distribute this knowledge to one's disciples. The words Atmanam, Atmastam, Sarvabhutesva Avasitam are also significant. The person of Godhead is the origin of all living entities. Because the living entities are parts and parcels of the Lord, He is the father of all of them. One can search for the Supreme Person and Supreme Lord very easily in one's heart, for He is situated in every living entity's heart. In this verse, the process of worshipping the Lord is considered to be very easy and complete. For anyone can sit down anywhere and in any condition of life and simply chant the holy names of the Lord. By chanting and hearing, one automatically engages in meditation. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पार्षदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे. I would like to seek blessings from all the Tamil Vaishnavas and thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself. Please forgive me for any of my shortcomings or adding my own interpretation. I'm here summarizing the purport after listening to Bhakti Vidya Swami and Swami Sham Bihari Prabhu's lectures. I'll just share the key highlights from the both after listening to both purports. What we can see is, I when I heard it, I could able to gather this in two different aspects. One, following instructions, and then duty to perform. Technically, both are same, but just giving in two different aspects. Now, what we see here in the above verse or even in this chapter is that Lord Shiva is giving very detailed information. Now, to all the Prachetas who want to do a severe austerity. And this is to chant this holy name of the Supreme Person of Godhead. Well, it is the ultimate and easiest. Now, what we see here is we are dealing with the devotion and not the technique of how to do. It's a devotion to the Lord. Now, however, if you see in the current modern world or the material world, we see the technique to be more complex than the devotion because of a lot of people giving a lot of their purports, which gets confused. However, we should not. Now, what we can see is we have a tendency to see the technique, which is overriding the principle of devotion, which is actually giving a false interpretation. Now, as we move into the lecture, we can hear from one of the texts from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, text 6 and 7. Yedu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasa matparaha ananyaiva yogena mam jhananta upasate tesha maham samudharta mritu samsara sagarat bhavamina chirat partha maya aveshita chetatam. So here Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna, for one who worships me, giving up all his activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engage in devotional service and always meditating upon me, who has fixed his mind upon me, O son of Pritha. For him I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Now, Lord Krishna has mentioned to Arjuna a lot of things, but I just picked up this one verse where Lord Krishna mentioned to Arjuna what is that he should do. Now, if we look at the purport from the text that I just read, it is explicitly stated that the devotees are very fortunate to be delivered very soon from the material existence by the Lord. In pure devotional service, one comes to realization that God is great, that the individual soul is subordinate to Him. His duty is rendered to service to the Lord. If not, then he will render service to the Maya. As stated, the Supreme Lord can only be appreciated by the devotional service. Therefore, one should be fully devoted. One should fix his mind on Krishna in order to achieve Him. One should work for only Krishna. It doesn't matter what kind of work one engages, but the work should only be done for Krishna. That is a standard devotional service. The Supreme Lord herein promises that He will without delay deliver a pure devotee thus engaged from ocean of material existence. Those who are advanced in yoga practice can willfully transfer the soul to whatever planet they would like by the yoga process, and others take the opportunity in various ways. But as far as the devotee is concerned and connected to the Supreme Lord, it is clearly stated. The Lord Himself takes him. He does not wait to become very experienced in transferring himself to spiritual sky. And in the Varaha Purana, this verse appears as Nayami Paramam Sthanam Archiradi Gatim Vina Garudaskandam Aropya Yachetam Anivaritaha. The purpose of this verse is that the devotee does not need to practice Ashtanga Yoga in order to transfer his soul to spiritual planets. The responsibility taken by Supreme Lord Himself, He clearly states that He Himself becomes the deliverer. A child is completely cared by his parents and thus his position is secured. Similarly, a devotee does not need to endeavor to transfer himself by yoga practice to other planets. Rather, the Supreme Lord, by His great mercy, comes at once riding on His bird carrier Garuda and at once delivers the devotee from this material existence. Although a man who is fallen into the ocean may struggle very hard and may be very expert in swimming, he cannot save himself. But if someone comes and picks him up from the water, then he is easily rescued. Similarly, the Lord picks up the devotee from the material existence. And one simply has to practice the easy process of Krishna consciousness and engage himself in a devotional service. What we can also know here is an intelligent man should always prefer the process of devotional service to all other parts. And we also can see this confirmed in Narayaniya. Yavai sadhana sampatti purusharda chatushtaye taya vina tad apnoti naro narayana straha. The purpose of his verse is that one should not engage in the different process of fruitive action or cultivative knowledge, but the mental speculative process. One who is devoted to the Supreme Personality can attain all the benefits derived from other yogic process, speculation, rituals, sacrifices, charities, etc. That is the specific benediction of devotional service. And simply by chanting the holy name of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily. But this destination cannot be approached by any other process of religion. And as we continue to hear this, we can also see a conclusion from Bhagavad Gita in the chapter 18. Sarvadharman parityaja mam ekam saranam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. One should give up all process of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. There is no need for one to consider sinful actions of his past life, because the Supreme Lord fully takes charge of him. Therefore, one should not futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization. Let everyone take shelter of Supreme Omnipotent of Godhead Krishna, which is the highest perfection of life. Now, as we continue here, we are also seeing that while Lord Shiva is not only requesting the Prajatas to pray to Supreme Personality of Godhead, he's also giving the medicine, which we don't see that generally in this current material world. Now, this medicine is to practice. This medicine is given by Lord Shiva to Prajatas. What is it? It's just to pray to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, let's look at how Lord Shiva is telling how to take this medicine. Let's say if somebody is sick and then they go to doctor. The doctor looking at the patient, doing some initial diagnosis, will give him medicine. And he requests doctor requests the patient to take the medicine in a certain form before breakfast, after breakfast, or before lunch, after lunch. And then he gives various pills in various order. What does the patient should do here? The patient should take these medicines in order or instruction given by the doctor. Now, if the patient takes the medicine properly, he gets cured himself. If he don't take it, if he take irregular intervals, his disease might get cured very late instead of early. This is where exactly Lord Shiva is also telling to us. And even if you see the previous verse, Lord Shiva is telling Prachetas to execute their duties as a king and also administer the duties that they need to do as a king, who is not only the protector of the kingdom, but also the savior of the people, making sure that the rishis follow the Brahminic principles and do their karma kandas. As we also just heard that Lord Shiva is telling Prachetas to chant the mantra with pure heart. Now, Lord Shiva is saying that to continuously chant this mantra sincerely and continuously. This is again the example of a patient taking medicine with the prescribed order given by the doctor. If not, you might not really affect. We can also see the same thing given by Srila Rupa Goswami in the Nectar of Instruction. Chant the holy name of the Lord, and you can see how sweet it is. Don't expect sweetness the moment you start chanting. As you continuously progress to continue to chant, you can see you can get the sweetness of the chanting, and you can also enjoy the sweetness. There's another verse that was mentioned and picked up from the Srila Rupa Goswami, which we find in the verse. What he says is, when the holy name of the Krishna descends and captures the tongue and lips, it controls them so strongly that it engages them in chanting the holy name, as if the lips and tongue have gone mad. In this way, the power of name descends in them, and then one feels the only tongue and one mouth are not enough. Thousands of mouths are necessary to taste the same. Then the holy name of the Krishna enters the ear with a great force, and current that the ears are captured, and one thinks that only 2 years are insufficient. He wants millions of years to attend the sweet current entering the ear. 2 years are nothing to him, he just wants millions of years. The nectar of the holy name is coming like a flood through his ears, pushing its way within the heart. It is so sweet that it is so sweet that as it goes to capture the heart, center of all senses, everything is paralyzed. Whenever the sweet aggressor touches, the whole thing is captured with intensity that everything else is ignored. Rupa Goswami writes, I don't know. I can't say. I fail to express how much nectar that there is in the name of the Krishna. These two syllables contain so much sweetness and such high quality of sweetness, and its sweetness is so aggressive that it captures everything. The current verse is found in the Vidagza Madhava written by Srila Rupa Goswami. Now, what we can see here is in from the uh, above verse or from the chapter, Lord Shiva is giving a medicine instructions to Prachetas to chant to the Supreme Person of Godhead. Well, it was very possible in those days. Now, in this current material world, the only thing which Srila Prabhupada gives us instruction, or what Srila Prabhupada says, is for people devotees, is to chant at least a minimum 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This was again emphasized by Lord Krishna to Arjuna in chapter 7, which is also attached, as we see, it's not just you should chant the holy name of the Lord at only the end of the life. So also start chanting right from the day you were born, or right from the day you can start chanting. That's how you can come closer to the Supreme Person of Godhead. I would like to stop here.